Problem number 5. So we have absolute value bars for this problem. So real quick, definitionally, if we have the absolute value of a number that we call a, okay, so let's say we have an integer, that just means a whole number, can't be a fraction or decimal, but it works for any number, right? So integer a, let's say that we have integer a here. The absolute value of a is just going to be a. The absolute value of negative a is also going, ooh, gotta drop these value bars. So we have a positive number, and it's just that positive number inside, you can just drop the value bars. But if we have a negative a in here, the absolute value of a negative a is also going to be a. So if you think about the number line, we have 0 in the middle, we have like a over here somewhere, we have negative a over here somewhere. We're assuming this is a positive integer a. Positive. So a is over here, negative a is over here. Then the absolute value is the distance away from 0. So we can see the distance away from 0 for both of them is going to be a. So that makes sense there. So then knowing that and knowing what our absolute value bars mean, it's asking what are all the possible solutions to the given equation. Okay, so we want x minus 10 to equal 0. And for this problem, if you don't understand them, the best thing you can do is just plug them all in. So let's just try someone. Let's try a. Negative 10 minus 10, absolute values. Is that going to equal 0? Let's check. Negative 10 minus 10 is negative 20. Absolute value of 20. Negative 20 is going to be 20 because you're going to just drop those value bars. If you want to think about it as turning negative values inside to positives and then dropping the bars, that works too. That's a good way to think about it. All right, this is a. So 20 equals 0? No, it doesn't, which means it can't be a. Let's try b. We have 0 minus 10 in absolute value bars. Is that going to equal 0? No, because we have negative 10, and the absolute value of negative 10 is positive 10, and that doesn't equal 0. So it can't be b. C, we have 10 minus 10 equals 0. 10 minus 10 is 0. And then the absolute value, the distance of 0 from 0, is going to be 0. So that one works. All right. Let's just check D just to be sure. Negative 10 and 10. Because we know C already works, right? But then we know because we already tried negative 10 for A, which didn't work, it cannot be D because it says and. And so even though 10 works, negative 10 doesn't, which means it can't be D. A and B didn't work, so those are crossed off too. So our final answer is C. If you guys wanted to look at that and just think about it in your heads, this would be a great question on the SAT because time is a factor to look at and see what value for x could I put that would make it equal to 0. And we know there's only one solution because the absolute value of anything that's equal to 0 has to have 0 inside here. So you could just make your equation x minus 10 equals 0 and then just do plus 10, get our 0 pair, and then x equals 10. So you could think about it that way too. And you could do that in your head even. You wouldn't even have to do this math. You could just think about it and say that 10 minus 10, well, that's going to be 0. And that's another way you could get the answer of C.